Welcome to the How Did Show, where interesting people answer the questions, how did I get here? And how in the hell did I get here? With your host, Donovan Corneets.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of the How Did Show. And you know what? Today, we got a really special guest. I know I say all of them are special, but for real, we got a special guest today. This person is a fellow voice actor, but he's from Dallas, Texas, and his voice can be heard on tons of commercials and promos for companies like Subway, TNT, TBS, Disney Plus, Fox, and more. Not to mention movie trailers for some of the biggest blockbusters of the last couple of years. And as if that's not enough, in his spare time, he actually sings in an acapella quartet group called King's Return. So y'all, show some love for my dog, Gabe Kunda. What's going on?
Oh, what's going on? I'm pumped. I'm excited to be here, man.
Yes, I'm pumped too, man. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for taking the time to be on the show. And yeah, man, really quick, just wanted to say you've accomplished so much in VO. And I know that I was sort of like a mentor or whatever from the beginning. Yeah. And I'm just really proud of everything that you've accomplished, man. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. You made me proud.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. I'm humbled, man. And yes, you are you are a mentor to me, and a couple of other people who I look up to. People don't notice, but you sat on the phone with me and talked to me about the business and just kind of things that I needed to do in my career to kind of step it on up. And thankfully, I was smart and followed those things. And I'm still following.
A lot of people don't listen to my advice. I don't know why. I guess I don't know, but
I'm actually starting to realize that now. Kind of going into it, I'm like, wow, there's only a couple that will kind of grab.
People don't listen, man. They ask you and then they don't believe you. I guess I don't know. But anyway, kudos to you for actually listening, and it's been amazing to see your meteoric rise. So yeah, man, congrats to you for that. But all right, so let's jump right into it. So this is the How Did Show. So the first part of this show is you letting the world know, how did I get here? How did you become the Gabe Kunda that we know and love now?
Man, okay, so yeah, it goes back to my sophomore year in high school. I was in a biology class, and my teacher was kind of picking on people to read and stuff like that. You read or whatever. So they picked on me, and I was just kind of so tired of how everybody else was reading their book, their little lines or whatever. And I was like, I want to make this sound epic. Now, I don't know how you can make something sound epic. You're a sophomore in high school. Your voice is still up here,
Yeah.
It's like, it's not.
For sure, sure.
But I said, I'm going to try my best with my James Earl Jones impression. Horrible. I did it, but it got the attention of some of the students, and they just started listening more. And then every time we got to reading the passages or whatever, or the books, she would always pick on me, and they were like, yeah. And so everybody's all listening and stuff. And at the end of the year, she was like, you should really think about doing like the announcements for school. And I was like, I've never done that before. And thankfully, the person who does the announcements for our school, he is also a voice actor, and he actually announced for the Dallas Mavericks as well.
Okay.
And he did it, the way he did it was like he auditioned kids. So little did I know I'd be kind of, starting the whole process of auditioning and stuff like that. But okay. I got there, I went home anyway. I signed up, went home with the script, took a few months. I went online and I was searching like announcers. And so I was, everything came up online. And then this one video that like changed my life. And like the game for me was $1 Million Voices video with Don LaFontaine, Cedrine Fox, Ben Patrick Johnson. I still remember it. And I saw it and I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Right. Period. Like it clicked. And I was like, I want to be a movie trailer announcer. Like, I want to do promos. Like, a lot of people get into it and they're like, I want to do like characters for like Mickey Mouse or like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But for me, I wanted to do, coming up next.
Straight for the top.
Yeah. And so that was kind of like what set me off. And I did the audition. I got in and everything. I got into some radio at our school. They had some radio broadcasting classes that they offered, and I got into that. And then I won some competitions in radio, went to college. And during this time, I was, also loving music. Music is my first love. Right. Singing a quartet, but, I wanted to learn how to teach music to other, kiddos and stuff. And so I got choral music education degree. During that time, my college years, this is about 2013 to about 2017. About 2015, I was doing like impression videos and like, kind of,
Yeah, I remember those all through on Facebook and everything, man.
Man, my stomping ground, man. All summer I was just learning a new voice, and for me, it was just a way to kind of just get myself out there and build some sort of following, and hopefully maybe an agent to hear me or whatever. And the same time, I was also on like some like pay to play sites and just trying to anywhere I could get some work or whatever.
Right.
I was doing it. And then after getting a lot of like following and traction from my impression videos, I spoke to you, sir, and yes, sir, and you gave me some great tips. And one of the things that I remember is thinking like, okay, the people that are doing these voices for these characters that I'm doing impressions of, they're still alive and they're making great money and a living doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that conversation really stuck with me. And I was like, I gotta take it to the next level. So I got some coaching, got a demo made 2017, March of 2017, like the final year of the university. I got signed to Atlas Talent and literally been doing it full time ever since. Now, before doing it full time, maybe a month into signing, I booked my first like promo job for Spike TV. Didn't know the requirements of what promo is.
Yeah.
So I'm in front of kids, teaching kids like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. And then I hear, I'm like, what's going on? And it's my agent. And she's like, Spike TV is wondering if you're available in 5 minutes. I'm like, what, 5 minutes?
No.
No, not happening. And so I'm teaching kids. And so, and we had a whole conversation about that of like, yo, if you're going to do promos, like you need to be available. So anyway, I graduated in like May of 2017. And then full-time, my parents who were African was like, I went to my parents. I was like, hey, can I do this full time? I know you guys paid for my degree and everything, but can I do this?
Not going to use it.
Right. Not at all. They said, if you want to do this, we will support you, but we need to see the money that comes in because we cannot just allow you to do anything. But that first check came in for promos, and I was like, Mom, look.
Yes, sir.
And
they're like, yes, okay, maybe you can do this with our blessing.
With our blessing, you can go now. And
By the way, let me hold a couple hundred. But no, that's awesome. By the way, you kind of skimmed over. We got signed to Atlas. Atlas is probably like the biggest voiceover agency on the planet. And so for that to be like your first agency, that let's not just like glaze over that. For people that don't know, Atlas is like the big dog that a lot of people like would work their whole career and dream of being on. And this dude bagged it like while still in college. So that's another testament of your skill level and your level of talent. So yes, congrats on that. And I will say that a lot of times people will see that like, oh man, this guy, he's still in college. He's he's booked on Atlas. He's doing movie trailers at like 20 years old or whatever. And the talk can be like, oh yeah, well he just he got a lucky break, or yeah, it's because of his Facebook stuff and he had the popular videos. That's why. Like this dude knew what he wanted to do for a while and worked at it like a mad person and studied the game, studied the industry, talked to people like myself and other people that had already reached a certain level of stature in the industry and did what was necessary to get there. It didn't just like, oh, I did some funny videos and now I'm doing Fox. Like, no. That's not the process at all. So I just wanted to point that out because I think that's a common misconception, especially with someone as young as yourself being able to do movie trailers and promos and these big time gigs. That can be a really a popular thought, really, of like, oh, he must have just got lucky, or it was all social media.
Oh yeah. It's something I've heard a lot. People say, oh, you just, it just seems like you just kind of got in there and you just boom. And I'm like, no, you got to understand, like, if as a sophomore, I'm realizing that promo and trailers is a world from sophomore year 2010, 11 to 2017. Yeah. I mean, that's about a time it takes to kind of get things rolling in our industry. So I that's one thing I always do, and studying that and watching that because I really wanted to be in so bad. I was watching and learning anything I could on it. And so to the point where I'm just like memorizing people's tone and voices, and I'm like, oh, that's what's his name? Oh, that's this, that's this. And thankfully with my musical background, it's helped me to understand highs and lows and how to match to what we're hearing. I mean, there's doing network promos, like you got to read to tape, and you have to understand the tone of what you're hearing. So all of that has helped me, get where I am now. And it wasn't easy. Definitely wasn't easy. There was a lot of things I had to learn the hard way, like, some people taking advantage of the fact that I don't know nothing, and this is a one story. It was kind of weird. It's like I did a commercial that aired on Empire, right?
Okay.
During Fox, and I didn't know what commercials normally run for anything. Did it for, it was like, I think $50, bro. $50. It ran on Empire. It ran on, I think they said some people saw it on HDTV. Like it was a barbershop commercial. I didn't know. I was like, I'll do it. And the person,
$50, hell yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. And when I think about it now, I'm like, yo.
Look, it happens. My first paid gig, my first like real paid gig, and I tell this story a lot, but was a voice in a video game. I won't. It's a very big video. I was about to say the name of this. I was like, but anyway, it's a very large video game publisher that specializes in sports games, and I played the second most important character in the entire game. Okay, and I got it through a pay to play. This is probably like 05-ish, 06, somewhere around there. And I got paid $100 for it. I had an 18-page script. 18 pages I did. And like video games are like all these little, like one line.
Oh yeah.
18 pages for $100. And I was so like on a cloud. Like I took pictures with the check, had like sunglasses on, like, yo, $100 for talking. Are you kidding me? Right. And you couldn't tell me anything. And then of course later I realized like they got me. Like, man, got him. Yeah, they got me $100 for 18 pages. Outrageous. But it happens, man. When you're new and fresh and people know how hungry you are, you can get taken advantage of from just ignorance. You just don't know any better. So yeah, man, you're not alone. Somebody else got taken advantage of early in their career. So I know you have like the acapella group, and that's actually been really popular for you as well. A couple of your videos have gone viral with that. So I know you talked about like your background in music and singing. And so if not VO, do you think you'd be doing something professionally in singing?
Oh yeah. Oh, 1,000%, man. It would be all consuming. And I would, I think that in the same way that I was with VO, I was like, I want to make this my thing. It would be a relentless pursuit for music. And maybe I'm very much a collaborative person. So it would never be a situation where I'm doing it on my own. I like bringing people together and bringing things together and either overseeing or being a part of that thing. And so it would be a situation where I get the most talented singers I know. Let's get in one room and let's make some magic. And so that's always been what I've been chasing after. So if voiceover wasn't a thing, man, I'd be on the road every week just trying to get, Yeah. So I'm right now it's the fun dance of balancing both voiceover and this group that's kind of like building. So, and it's been amazing. It's been fun.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, I know there's a couple other people that are in VO that sing or in bands or music and stuff. And I get asked all the time, like, man, love your voice. Can you sing? And I have to say, no. Like, I wish I could. In the shower, I am throwing down. Let me tell you something. Like blowing like nobody's business. But then reality hits and I realize like, yeah, you sound like trash. But that will probably be the only thing where I'm like, oh, Gabe Kunda, you got to have voiceover and singing. Come on, man. Let somebody else get some talent. Like, can you draw too? You paint? You like ride a unicycle while juggling?
Nope, thank God, because you never hear the end of it. no man. Those are those. Music is the first thing. Because my mom, who's no longer with us, but she was like, every morning when she, getting up in the morning, cleaning the house or whatever, she's always playing either like quartet music, jazz music, Just all types of stuff is always in the house. And so I would find myself like sitting next to the cassette player and trying to pick out the parts and sing with the parts. And then that's kind of like how I learned how to sing in harmony and stuff, and range and all that kind of stuff, because I would just do that for fun. And I think that's like, when I think about it now, I'm like, actually I did that with voiceover a bit too. I just sit to the TV and just like, how did he say that? Okay. And then try to copy. So it's interesting how that
it all parallel. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So now I mean, yeah, it was always my first love. And then when I got to college, it was a situation of like, it's funny, I won a competition where they gave me a scholarship to go learn audio radio production in like Indiana or something like that. And I was trying to think, I was like, well, do I need a degree to do voiceover? Not really, but I do need a degree to do to teach music and to be in the choral, world in that regard, in that training. And so that's why I went the music education route instead of the VO route, and it worked out okay. I was gonna say
it worked out. I mean, you probably couldn't have seen how well it would work out. So it's good that you had that cushioning there. So yeah, man, no, that's great. And like I said, man, I'm so glad to have you on the show, because that's just a testament to when you know what you want, right? You start a relentless pursuit of that thing. And that's usually where people falter. It's like, oh yeah, it would be nice to do voiceover. Okay, well, what have you done? Have you studied? Have you done? Oh yeah, no, I just, I do some cool voices or whatever. And you realize like, yeah, that's not going to get it done. And I know like when I discovered voiceover, and it was one of those things I said, I don't know how, I don't know when, but at some point this is going to be my job. Like I can't say it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen. There is no other option for me right now. Like this has to be it, because I am like my heart is racing, and when I even think about doing it. So yeah, that was it. And so everything that I did, and working regular jobs, and I worked third shift job and all this stuff, I was pursuing voiceover, like going 100 miles an hour towards my goal at all times. And so just another testament of that being the case is like you discovering it, you realizing it. And even though you had like, could have been like, yeah, that's kind of a pipe dream. Let me focus on this music thing and be a teacher. Like that would have been totally understandable. Right. But you didn't do that. You saw it, you pursued it with reckless abandon, and you see the result, man. So round of applause to you, man.
Thank you, man.
For seeing the dream and working towards it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say I had any part in that, but I'm not saying I didn't.
Well, I'll say you did. How about that?
No, I'll take that. All right, cool, man. So now that we got that out the way, it's time for
the Wheel of What?
So we're going to bring this in.
The Wheel of what?
The Wheel of What?
Oh, man. Here we go. My fate is in this wheel. Come on.
Yes. So
scary.
Answer the question honestly.
Okay.
And we're ready to go.
Okay.
All right. We're going to spin this bad boy.
Oh, gosh. Nervous.
Lifetime movie. Okay. So this will be good.
That was close.
That was close. All right. So it was really close. Yeah. So Lifetime movie. So if there was to be a Lifetime movie made about your life, what would the title of it be, and who would play you?
Oh God. What would the title be called? Holy.
Man, this is good stuff, man. Look, I'm playing no games on the How Did Show.
No, my gosh. I don't even know. Probably name. Okay. That's probably a cheat, because I call my vlogs this. Gabe's Motif.
Gabe's Motif.
And motif, what motif is a musical. It's a musical idea. It's a small idea of something. Okay. So just kind of thinking about the different ideas of my life and the small strokes of paint in my life. Music, voiceover, writing, all those things. And so I think I would call it Gabe's Motifs. It's a cop out, but I'm gonna go with it. The person the person I would have to play me. There is this guy, and I don't remember his name. He's on The Good Place.
I know who you're talking about with the glasses. Yeah. I can. I don't know his name at all, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
I think his name is like Chitty or Chibi or something like that. I get either him or Sterling K. Brown. I get people.
If your character has to cry on demand, definitely go with Sterling.
God. Sterling, 100%.
Yeah, if you want the waterworks on demand, then definitely go with Sterling.
Those two. Somebody's probably gonna comment and be like, "Oh, this person," but from The Good Place.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I get people like always comparing, and I think it's the glasses. My wife is always like, "It's the glasses." I'm like, "Okay, I see it," but
I never thought about it. But now that I think about it, yeah, I can see the resemblance. I don't think you look alike, but I wouldn't call you a liar if you told me you were cousins. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, that's who I would. That's how I do the biopic.
I like it, man. Gabe's motif played with Guy from Good Place. That would be his on his marquee. Guy from Good Place or Sterling K. Brown
as an understudy.
Understudy if crying is necessary. I like it.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. All right. Now that was a really good answer, especially since I put you on the spot there.
Right. Because I was not ready.
All right, cool. So now that we got that out of the way, the second half of the How Did Show is a story of an event, an occurrence, something that happened that made you say, like, okay, how the hell did I get here?
Man. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this a couple of days. I was like, man, what is it? And then I thought to myself, like, this year, man, the top of the year, we got this is concerning me and my group, my acapella group.
Okay.
We were doing our thing, and then we get this email from just a random person with apple.com attached to it. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, we'd love to hop in a meeting with you and talk to you about it potentially, coming down here. I'm like, down where? And like, they don't, there's no signature, there's no nothing. It's just Apple and then the person, whatever. So
like, all right, Steve from Apple.
Right. Yeah. Spam. But we just entertained it. We said, we'll go in. And so all of us hopped on a Zoom call to black screen, and all we hear is a voice, and we talking to the person. And it's a young lady. It's an older lady, and she's talking. She's like, "We just love your videos and everything, and we're thinking about bringing you guys down." It's like, well, we don't even know what you look like. You're talking to us behind this kind of like veil thing, and I don't know if it's like for whatever privacy purposes, but they were like, "Yeah, so we're working on a movie, an independent movie with Apple and the Steve Jobs Theater, and we want you to come down and sing this and that." And so we're thinking it's a joke, and we're like, okay, whatever. Right. And they're like, how much would you quote? And we're like, we'll do it now for $500 or whatever. And they're like, okay, how about we quadruple that? Great. And then they're like adding just like anything that we're saying. They're like, yeah, we'll do more than that. We'll do more than that. Right. And then we're like, whatever. We get off the call and we start getting like flight tickets. We start getting like hotel stuff. And we're like, wait a minute. Wait,
is this real?
Yeah, it is real. And so all to the point until the day we had to fly out, like we had to fly the following week. That like the whole thing. Fly, we're like, we're actually getting on this plane. We about to go to this. So what is it?
I hope this isn't the backstory to a horror movie. Like we're all going to our demise, right?
San Francisco. We're going to San Francisco to go to the Steve Jobs Theater, and we're just kind of going, backpacks, get on the plane, and we're like, okay, we'll go. We fly there, we get there, yeah, whatever. Still don't believe it. Right. Hop in the car, and we're approaching the freaking Steve Jobs Theater, and we're like, yo, what is happening? We get on set. And oh my gosh, we meet and I'm forgetting his name, the celebrity. He's Shane. I know, black brother. He's on Saving Captain Ryan or something like that. Oh my gosh, starts with a W. You know him. Darn it. I'm so mad.
I can't help you with this one.
I'm so mad because I'm forgetting his name. Anyway, we're meeting the direct all these celebrities, and I'm so mad because I'm forgetting the name and he's very important. But anyway, we're getting there, and we're just like, it's a whole production. It's an Apple production that they're putting on, and we're providing the music for it. We're singing through it. It's all a cappella, and it's just us. And we're like, what the heck? Like I've never in my life. I mean, I thought moments like that would happen, you know, when we get an album out or when we win a
Right.
Grammy or when we whatever. But like out the gate, we're
Yeah.
like at the Steve Jobs Theater. And then, you know, they got Tim Cook's team coming down and they're talking to us and they're like, yeah, Tim's going to be here and it's going to present and all that stuff. And he comes in and he's presenting. We're just like, we're literally performing for this man, and it actually airs on Apple TV, which is an amazing thing. And you know, that was one of the moments where I was kind of like, I cannot believe I'm here right now. We thought it was a joke, but they actually
and here we are. Yeah,
and here we are.
That's awesome.
And so yeah, Apple was definitely a gig that I will never forget, and I will just continue pinching myself that we did, and we still have actually connection with them, and I actually I'm doing some VO for them now, which is insane.
Hey man, I love it.
So I'm working on the Steve Jobs Theater stuff, and so you'll hear me if you go over there, and you'll hear me, you know, roaming around. And their stuff is very high tech too. You walk in, you don't even have to take your temperature. They have this machine that just kind of scans you, and then like clear, you're good. Yeah, like
what happens if you're not clear? That's what I want to know. Like lasers and like the floor opens up, flames shoot,
throws you out, throws you into a vault.
Our 2 o'clock is now open. Who's next? Like, oh, it just blew Gabe up because he had a fever.
Yeah, right. No, it's an amazing place if anybody gets a chance. And they also, one more thing, I'm kind of geeking out now because I am an Apple fan. That's another thing you got to understand.
Okay.
They also have this at the Steve Jobs Theater. They have this room that's like artificially crafted in terms of the acoustic is concerned. So by one press of the button, they can make it sound like a whole cathedral. So you sing in it and it sounds like, yeah, you know, like whoa. And or another button, they can make it sound like this studio. And it's mind blowing. They just press any button, they can make it warp into any type of like area that they want, a room that they want. And so there were a lot of times where like we'd be shooting. We were shooting for like 4 or 5 days, and like and something came in from the CW, or they needed a promo read, and I would just take my stuff and literally go into the room and just record into open space. But because the acoustics are so nice, it sounds like I'm recording in the studio.
That's incredible.
So yeah, I took my Sennheiser 416 and just talking to it.
All right, I guess I'll just right here then. Okay,
anyway,
cool. Hey, set that to a studio.
Exactly.
You don't want to be underwater? Like, no. I need studio setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. No, that's a really cool story, man. I love that because it's definitely a testament to like you just never know who's watching, who's listening, where it can take you. I know I had a couple of times in my career where I was just like, I can't believe like voiceover brought me here. You know, like this is really tripping me out. Really quick, like I was doing Justin Bieber's roast on Comedy Central, which was like one of my sort of like my big break, if you will, that kind of took me to the next level and, you know, union stuff. And I was in LA for a conference, and at the time that I was recording for it, and of course, as you know, things change and they have rewrites, or they had to change a guest or who was going to be there. And so while I was there, I let them know like, hey, I'm in LA. And they're like, hey, look, we actually have to redo like a whole chunk of this for legal stuff. And I was like, oh man, okay. Well, you need to come out to this studio. And I think it was just called Hollywood Studios or something. But anyway, like it was a lot, like a movie lot. And when you go in, there's like security, and then they have those like big long buildings that all the sets are in.
Yeah, the stages.
And, yeah, the stages. And I'm walking past it like, oh my goodness. And I'm looking down at my little ID, and like you see like you know, movie props and set props, and like the cart going by with all the clothes on it. Like that really happens. You think that's just TV. And it's like that's actually a wardrobe cart going by. And so I go to this studio to record, and I'll never forget this. In the studio, so you know, like you're in the booth, you have your booth, and there's usually like a glass, like a window that separates you from the editor, right?
Yeah.
The glass that separated us was an aquarium. Live fish.
What?
Yes, live fish in the glass that separated the booth from the studio. Blew my mind.
Sick.
I would have never even thought to have that. And there it was, absolutely silent, bubbles going live, like a real like tropical fish.
Wow.
And that's what separated me. And so like I'm doing the recording, I'm here, but I'm also like,
ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. Like I would be distracted. Like Yeah, is that a shark?
No, it was crazy, dude.
Crazy.
Anyway, and I remember standing there like I'm in a studio
Wow.
where the glass that separates us is an aquarium. Like they do it different in Hollywood. Like this
No
is
kidding. No
this
kidding.
is crazy. And so anyway, and like they score movies in the studio, and like they had this like 80-inch screen back. No, this is before like, you could get an 80-inch screen at Costco, but like this 80-inch screen and like this whole board and with a fish tank in there, like separating it. So anyway, that was one of my moments of being just like totally geeked out of first of all, who even thought of this? And then two, they actually made it work. Like
right.
That's what unlimited budget does for you. Like
That part.
I want a fish tank in here. Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
In a VO booth.
In a VO booth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, yeah, that's one of my stories of like technology or just like a really cool situation, and you're just looking around like okay, I'm really here, this is really happening. So yeah, man. But anyway, we'll wrap this up, man. Thank you so much again for being on the show. Truly was a pleasure, man. I hope you had a good time. I had a good
fun.
time.
Man, the time just flew by, man.
Yeah, man. This is good. This is a good one. But yes, so really quick, man, let people know how they can find you, social media, how they connect with you, and anything you got going on coming up soon that they can check out.
Yeah. So you can literally Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all is Gabe Kunda, at Gabe Kunda. And in terms of things I got coming on, I got I told you I'm a acapella group, right? So we doing a Christmas EP coming out at the end of November. So like literally the day after Thanksgiving, you should see it out there on our socials, and we're really excited about it. Hopefully that it kind of helps bring the holiday cheer in the air there. And then and other than that, you can I'm on Call of Duty, Valorant. You can play me on there, and I'm also on Twitch. Check me out on Twitch. I'm Tuesday nights. I love talking to supporters and people that follow my work and all that stuff, and shooting some bad guys. So
there you
I
go.
appreciate it.
No, that's dope. Definitely, everyone check out his work, Gabe Kunda, on all the socials. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you again so much, man, for being on the show. And yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. I love to see it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me and having some fun as we interview some really, really interesting people. So go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and be on the lookout for more episodes of The How Did Show.